Hello, everybody. I'm Nancy Nara. Welcome to the Global Women Achievers Festival 2021. Today, I have with me someone who is a truly empowered woman, someone who is symbolic of courage, perseverance, and dedication. I welcome to the show Ms. Shivali Deshpande, ex-Indian Air Force officer. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nancy. It's an honor to be here on this platform on the Professional Times, and it's really wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, we often ascribe the title of a hero to TV actors, movie stars, but I think if there is someone who is truly deserving of this title, it is you and people who are serving the nation. So tell me, ma'am, is this something you always wanted to do?
Yes, of course, Nancy. Nowadays, when we talk to the youth of the country, they mostly say that their heroes are the heroes that they see in the movies and the serials, TV serials. But then they don't know about the real heroes, those who save their country and those who keep the country very, very secure. Very well asked by you, Nancy. Something that you would like to do. Yes, I would like to work, and I would like to work a lot for the country. I would love to open branches of my organization, that is Prahar Samaj Jagruti Sanstha, an organization which was started on 9th January 1994 with the aim of spreading soldierly qualities in the society, namely courage, discipline, vigilance, values of life, and patriotism. This organization was started by my father, late Colonel Sunil Deshpande, VSM. And this organization is going on in Nagpur since 27 years. And we have a branch in Wardha, which is a small town near Nagpur. We are trying to open more branches. So yes, this is my dream, Nancy, which I would definitely like to achieve.
Now, ma'am, valor and courage is in your DNA. So is it sort of a thing that, for every girl, their father is the hero, but in your case, your father actually was a hero. So did you feel that growing up, watching him all these years, that sort of, gravitated you towards choosing this field as something as you want to do for the rest of your life?
Nancy, you see, the fact is, yes, in fact, my father was the motivating force behind me. But then, right from my childhood, I was a very, very active child, and I always used to love to do what boys do and all the games that boys play. And I was a gymnast. I was into football, and I was into all these kind of games. And right from my childhood, I had a dream of wearing the uniform. Whenever I used to look at my father wearing the uniform, there used to be a different aura behind him. And that aura that he used to carry used to earn a lot of respect. And this is what I wanted to be. I always used to admire my father. And for that matter, all people who are in uniform. And being with my father, I used to come in contact with so many people of the forces that I always used to get awed by them. And yes, this was the motivating force behind me joining the armed forces. But then I had my own dream, and my own dream was to be in the uniform, because in the college days I was in the NCC and I had worn the uniform for the first time, and of the National Cadet Corps. So that was the first uniform that I had worn. And whatever I have achieved, whatever I have gained today in life, it is due to my parents' blessings, and yes, due to the National Cadet Corps.
So, ma'am, I don't want to generalize, but the army is usually considered as a man's domain. Since times immemorial, there has been a huge mismatch in terms of the number of men versus the number of women. Did you face any such bias despite your father being, having served the nation? Did you feel that, I wish I was a boy and I would have been able to do this? Did you at any point in time feel limited because you were a woman?
Frankly speaking, Nancy, not at all. Never at all. In fact, when I was a child, I had proven myself right from my childhood. I was a gymnast. I was a good footballer. I have done great in my academics as well. Plus, I was in the NCC. I was the best girl cadet of the country in '93. 1993, and I got gold medal and Prime Minister's baton at the hands of the then Prime Minister, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. And I did make my family proud. And then later on, I joined the Indian Air Force. Never in the Indian Air Force did I find any kind of bias. But yes, it was a way of life. I don't call it a profession as various people call it, but then I call being in the armed forces a way of life. Choosing this field, was very, very different from others, because when the government started inducting women into the defense forces, there was a lot of murmuring around, how would girls do and how would they perform in the defense forces and this and that. But then this was the only field which was a male-dominated field. And but we were more than happy when the government opened its doors for women into the defense forces. And let me tell you, Nancy, we all lady officers in the defense forces, may it be in the Indian Army, Navy, the Indian Air Force, we have done excellent and we have been doing excellent. And that is why, of course, the Supreme Court has given us permanent commission.
I think that is true. But also, ma'am, now you've touched the skies. You've been in the Air Force. But there is a ground reality. Back home, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a daughter-in-law, and there are those dynamics which you also need to balance. So how did you maintain that?
Nancy, I'm not married, and I chose not to marry because I wanted to dedicate myself after my Indian Air Force 5 years short service commission to the cause of my organization, Prahar Samaj Jagriti Sanstha. It's an NGO, and it is registered with the Charity Commissioner, and we do a lot of social work in the society. So along with it, but yes, I am taking care of my mother after my father's left, because we three used to stay together. My father passed away 2 years back. I am taking care of my mother, and yes, I am, managing the household stuff along with taking care of the organization as well. So, you see, I have a message for the ladies, those who aspire to become something great, those who aspire to achieve their aim. It is never too late to dream, and one should dream, and one should dream big. When you dream big, you will achieve small dreams of yours, small goals of yours, and that will lead you to a path of achieving that bigger dream of yours. Because a lady basically is not meant to be confined only to the kitchen, only to taking care of the children. Yes, that is an important part, but then she is meant to become the mother of the society and the mother of the country. This is what is required. When you grow up or when you get married, you need to understand that along with your family's responsibilities, somewhere at the back of your mind, you should have the nation's interest always, as many of the serving lady officers do. These serving lady officers are married, they are managing their house, they are managing their children, and along with everything, yes, they are holding rifle and they are taking care of the country. They are fighter pilots today. We have the women in the Indian Navy who are going to go on board a warship. So these ladies too are married, and they are managing everything very, very beautifully with a great kind of resolve in their mind that yes, we are ladies, we can do both these work and we can give justice to all these work.
I think this was so important for everyone to know, because we juggle with our desk jobs and we think that it's so difficult managing work and family, and here you say they're stepping on warships and they're waging wars, and then they come back and they're taking care of their family. I think that leaves with no excuse to any woman who feels that she cannot fulfill her dreams because she has a family to take care of. I think a woman can manage everything. Now, ma'am, as civilians, we often feel, that anything that is happening out there, any tension or anything, is not our responsibility. We feel very removed from it. I'm counting myself in. So how do we instill, because you're working, you have an NGO that's working towards this goal. How do you ensure that people back home feel the severity of the situation and understand it like it's their own, because it's always a soldier's problem. It's not our own, because we don't have to face it.
Yeah. Nancy, in fact, you said it very correctly. And this is what we do today in Nagpur. When the organization started, people of Nagpur, which is in the center of the country, did not know they knew nothing about the armed forces. And they did not know how a soldier joins the forces, what are the entries, what is it to become an officer, and what is it to take up a gun, stand at the borders and fight the enemy. And this is exactly the reason why we started this organization. Basically, we started creating an awareness in the society, and along with creating an awareness, we started telling people that, this is the kind of life that we live in the armed forces, and it is superbly wonderful. You see, the necessity of nowadays that our country requires is a bit of training, which is kind of an NCC training or an NSS training or Scouts training, where you go into an organization which is very disciplined and which teaches you some kind of values, which is very, very important. And you see that the civilians, they are not bothered about soldiers. But yes, nowadays there is a lot of awareness that is coming up in the civilians regarding the soldiers. Whenever you see a soldier's dead body that comes into a city, there are throngs of people who crowd there to pay their Shraddhanjali, to pay their homage to the soldier. Slowly, there is an awareness that is definitely coming. But then, let me tell you, we all should have it in our hearts. Today, we are enjoying the fruits of freedom. And today, we are being able to live very peacefully. We are able to celebrate birthday parties. We are able to do all kinds of activities. It is only and only because of those soldiers who are guarding our borders day and night. And they're standing there day and night, irrespective of whatever weather it is, whether it is raining, whether it is cold, whether it is scorching sun, may it be Rajasthan, Jammu Kashmir, may it be Ladakh, or may it be the Northeast. So we always should be thankful to the soldiers. In fact, I say it at many forums, wherever I'm called for a lecture, that whenever we start a program, along with praying to the Bharat Mata, we should also pay homage to all those soldiers, because today we are alive. It is only because of them.
Absolutely.
So an awareness needs to be created in the country, and that is the need of the hour.
What message do you want to give to all the little girls who are listening to you and their families, girls who wish to join the armed forces? What message would you like to give to them and their families? How should they encourage their children to come up and serve the nation?
The last message that I would love to give to the girls is, please do not keep your life confined. The sky is the limit. You can always jump and touch the sky. Achieve your dreams and have big and great dreams, and achieve them to the fullest. Because if you achieve your aim, only then you will be able to nurture your child well, and you will be able to nurture the future generation of my country very, very well. And you will be able to mold their future in a very positive manner. So find your dream and achieve it with all your confidence and your courage, and the sky is yours. Thanks to the Indian Media Council, the Professional Times, and of course Nancy and Kshitij for coming up with this beautiful idea of interviewing women achievers, and in fact the idea of empowering women through this small program of theirs. And heartiest congratulations for this wonderful platform.
On that note, I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you so much.
We respect and admire and salute your courage and the way you're giving back to the society.
Yeah.
Truly, it's been an honor interviewing you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you so much.